or truck, guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay. Come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier. We've got the right price. Frontier. We'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors. Low overhead country.
And yes, indeed. We are pleased, honored, and privileged to have the owners of that fine establishment here with us live in the studio, ready, willing, and I think more than able to take any phone calls that you might have if you'd like to get a price on a car, truck, or SUV that you're thinking of buying, selling, or trading. I refer, of course, to Ron Schneider and Iven Streckel. Good morning, gentlemen.
Ooh, that was really good. He is on a roll today. That was that was the famous Don Parker from WCOA introducing Iven and I and Frontier Motors, and we thank you very much, and we thank your experience. It was very, very good. Yes, like you said, this is an information show and a show that we are broadcasting live on the radio, and we are taping for our TV listeners, and we have all sorts of information for you, don't we, Iven?
We got more information that you could possibly ever use. And is this a 4-hour show, Don? Did you say?
4 hour.
This would be 1 hour.
Oh, Jesus.
Unless,
it's going to be a half an hour on TV. So if you're watching this on TV right now, even though Don said we're live, we are actually taping this. While we're taping this, we're live. But when you're watching it, it will be a rerun. So don't bother calling the WCOA radio show. But if you want to get a value on the car, you can call the dealership at 436-8080. That's 436-8080 at the dealership. And we can give you a value of your car going back to 1982. So that's pretty far. No, 92. Back to 1992.
Unless you're listening on the radio, then call.
Yeah, you can call right now, 478. Thanks, Don. It's been a while since we've done the show. We're not, we don't get paid for this. We're amateurs. 478-3116. If you are listening this on the show, on WCA Radio show, 478-3116. We can answer all kinds of questions. But the main thing that Ron and I really talk about are values. And if you're driving down the road and you're thinking, I want to get rid of this old jalopy, what should this thing be worth? You can give us a buzz here. We can give you not only our opinion, but we can also give you the book values. We can give you the appraisal value, which is very important. Let's say, hypothetically, you're going to go buy a brand new car up in Car City. You've picked out the car. You've already did your online Googling and everything. You know what a good price is, so you don't have to negotiate a lot when you walk in there because you already have the bottom line price before you even walk in the dealership. And now you toss that used car appraiser the keys for your trade-in, and you're going to find out the real wholesale value of what they're going to appraise it for. Frontier Motors is here to give you a second opinion. What if they appraise your car for $10,000 and we appraise it for $11,500? Just bring it to us. As long as we need the car for our lot, we'll write you a check for $11,500. You can still go buy the brand new car. So we can help you out in a multitude of ways. One of the other ways you might help you on values, if you are one of those poor folks that went out there, maybe had a crash, and your insurance company has decided, ooh, that was good. I'll fix you're welcome. And if you're in a tizzy about what the value of your vehicle is, before you settle with your insurance company, check with us. Check with someone in the car industry, because once they total your car and you settled, you're done. You come back into the car industry and you find out you don't have enough money to replace your car. The time to negotiate with them, the time to find out the values is before you settle with your insurance company. We're not telling you that the insurance companies don't settle correctly. There's a lot of good companies out there, give you plenty of money. But just like the value Ivan was talking about for your trade-in at a new car dealership, the value of this a total car or car, you can put it in your back pocket and you can bring it out if they're not giving you enough. If they're giving you enough, you can take that piece of paper and tear it up and use a paper airplane or do something with it. But it's good to have it. We're willing to share it with you. All of our employees are willing to share it with you. Ivan mentioned our telephone number at 436-8080. All of the salespeople have the computers on their desk and ready to help you with values. That's the big difference in the auto industry. And we'll tell you some other things that we do at Frontier Motors, including carry a huge inventory. I think we broke a record yesterday. You said we had 330-some cars? 331 cars, and I think I have 4 more coming. So about 335 cars in one location. And for an independent dealer, it's kind of unheard of. If you Google independent dealers, there's nobody in our area. I don't think there's anybody in Florida for an independent dealer. When I say independent, that's a dealer without a franchise. We don't have a Ford franchise or Chevy, Toyota. We're an independent. The advantage of that, when you come to the independent lot, is that we don't try to sell you anything. That sounds kind of stupid.
Plus, we don't have any brochures.
Yeah. And when I say we don't try to sell you anything, because when you go to a dealer's lot that has a franchise, that salesperson is called a salesperson because he has to sell you that particular make and model because that's all he's got. So if you go to a Ford dealership, that Ford salesman is going to tell you why that Ford Mustang is the best thing ever. You walk across the street to the Chevy store, and that Camaro is the best ever. And then you go over to the Dodge dealership, boy, that Dodge Challenger is the best ever. Well, Frontier Motors, we have them all lined up right there. So you can take your pick. So we don't have to sell you on the car. We let you take it for a test drive, and then we give you a bottom line price in writing. We do this all in a matter of minutes. We can even do it while you're taking a test drive. Toss us the keys for your trade-in. When you come back, we'll have the price for your trade-in, the bottom line price, the taxes, the dock fee, everything put together. So if you decide to look at a 2011 Camaro used with 4,000 miles on it, for example, and then you go to the new one, wouldn't it be nice to know what the bottom line difference is? Heck, if they're only $1,000 apart, I'd be the first one to tell you buy a new one. What if it's a $5,000 difference? Or what about the 2011 Corvette that we have at the lot? 2011 Corvette with 3,000 miles on it, that's $13,000 less than the list price of a brand new one. Now, I'm not saying you'd pay the list price, but even if they knock off $3,000 off the new one, that's still a $10,000 difference, plus the taxes on $10,000 on every $700, so that's $10,700. If you finance $10,700 less, even at a low interest rate, that's another $700 or $800 in savings. So you're looking at over $11,000 savings. The car has 3,000 miles on. That's quite a bit.
Yeah, and you got to have variety, right? I was talking variety. We've been talking variety. One of the things that we keep at the dealership is our consumer ratings, consumer guides. Helps you out a lot, helps us out a lot, because just like I've said, if you got one of everything or two of everything and you have a lot of different cars out there, you might want to come over there and you say, well, I really didn't know what the Hyundai Sonata, how is the Hyundai Sonata rated? Well, we can open up the Hyundai Sonata rated. We can find out it's a recommended car. Or if you wanted to look at some of the trucks, there's some other consumer guides. And we also have the new car cost guides. Now, we're not in the new car business. This is a used car franchise. But what it helps us with is, not a franchise, used car dealership independent. But what it helps us with is knowing the different models and what you're getting in different models. We had a lady come in yesterday. She wants us to locate her a Toyota RAV4 four-wheel drive, but she wants the power seat and the leather, and she wants the sunroof. Well, what group do you have to get? They make three different groups in the RAV4. They make the regular, they make the sport, and they make the limited. So you have to turn to this, and then you got to find that out. We'll help you with that. You can call us at 436-8080 if you're looking at a car down the road by Uncle Bob. Maybe he's got one for sale. If you're looking down the road, maybe somebody on Craigslist has one for sale. Or if another dealer, we can help you distinguish which model you're buying so you don't overpay. Good example, Iven, an older gentleman came in yesterday. He's retired, and he went and he bought himself a brand new Buick. Well, he got excited. It was beautiful color. It had chrome wheels. He bought too much. It's got a sunroof. He just found out it had a sunroof, and it opened. He knew it was a moonroof. He slid that thing, but he didn't even have any idea it was a power sunroof. It's got 52,000 miles on it. He found out 7,000 miles ago, but he bought too much vehicle. And you know the strange thing about it? He's actually trading. He wants to go from an 07 Buick Lucerne to a Buick. What was the other one?
From a LaCrosse to
a Lucerne, because he wants the larger, nice, more comfortable vehicle. And it's strange that people do get oversold. They get excited. Well, we can help you separate that. We can help you with the consumer guys. We can help you with these new car cost guys. And, you know, it's just a strange world. You know, we're talking about the Internet, doing business on the Internet. And, I just, before we came in the air, I said I clicked and I bought a refrigerator freezer on Boom 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 yesterday. And there it's in my driveway this morning. They called me before I walked in here. It can be that easy on the Internet, folks. You can buy a car from Frontier Motors, or you can buy a car, but you have to trust that dealer. What you're looking at, you have to trust.
I'm not trust no dealer.
But you can, and we've done it before. We've had people come in from Minnesota. We've had people come in from Atlanta and buy a car from us, and that car is ready up front, got gas in it, it's cleaned up, it's got a car history report in the glove box. Everything is ready. That's what we try to do when you come to Frontier Motors. We don't want you to come from Mobile or Fort Walton Beach or come from the air base over there, which we get a lot of business off the TV. We want you to come there and find what we got advertised is there, number one. Number two, if it's a nice car and it's advertised as a nice car and there's 20 nice pictures, it is a nice car. It's not something that somebody hid. And those are the things you have to watch on the Internet, because the Internet is good, makes it easier, sometimes make it faster. It also can make it worse.
And the other reason you want to join us, because we have all the guidebooks. We also have with us the DirecTV guidebook. So if you need to know what football game is on this weekend, we can help you with that.
We got it all.
We got it all. The Packers, the beloved Packers, have a bye this weekend, in case you want to know. So we will be taking the weekend off and partying. Anyways,
what else you got over there? You always you look at the news. You like the news stuff.
We talk about we talk about the car business in general. Ron and I started Frontier Motors about almost going on 16 years now, and one of the things that we set out to do years and years ago was change the, probably what I would say, the reputation of the car dealer. And we've been very unsuccessful doing that. I do have to admit that the dealers are still the way they were 16 years ago, and they're very slow in coming around. What I mean by that is when you look at the advertising, you still... My jaw still drops when I see the advertising on some of these TV stations in the morning. I don't want to mention the exact channel, but because there's so many of them on there. And, you know, some of them are really good and some of them are really bad. Ron, I was reading this in the used car news. A bad ad costs the dealer over $100,000. It's about time that somebody complains. I've been talking about this for years and years, that there's a lot of deceptive advertising out there, but if you don't complain about the deceptive advertising, it goes on and on and on. And here's a dealer, Ron, that got fined $128,000. And basically the gist of it is what he did is, this is a Washington dealer. It says that the AG accused the defendants of misleading customers by falsely claiming that cars that were being sold under distressed conditions by using advertising terms such as pre-auction auto sale, repos, and the bank asset sale, which in fact were vehicles that came right from the dealer's regular inventory. We have that going on right here in Pensacola. The other thing that they did is they suggested that they can get cars off of 50% of MSRP, but these are used cars that they're comparing to the MSRP of the car brand new. Very deceptive, and there's other things, but we'll hold that thought and we'll take a call down.
This is Karen.
Karen, welcome to the show. How can we help you?
Well, I just wanted to thank you for, we bought a car from y'all.
Well, thank you.
It's very nice, but your salesman was excellent. I have a handicapped uncle that only has the use of one arm and leg, and your salesman listened to us on what the needs we had. Getting him in and out of the car was almost impossible. But this salesman he found us the right car. When he spoke with my uncle, he got down on his eye level, which he's in a wheelchair. So this tall, retired Navy pilot, I don't remember his name, I'm sorry, but he got down to his eye level and everything. The whole experience was really nice, and I didn't know y'all gave away pastries if you bought a car and took a picture. But the whole thing was really nice, so I just thought I would say that. I didn't plan on calling, so I'm rambling. But anyway, it was...
Nice. Thank you.
I recommend your car lot.
Thank you, Karen. Thanks for the call, and appreciate you taking the time out. That's a very good compliment. I appreciate people calling the radio show. 478-3116. We'll never get tired of your accolades, so if you want to call again, 478-3116, we would appreciate it. And it's not just, Ron, when we talk about dealership advice, one of the things that we do on a daily basis is we listen to people when they come in, and some people are not there to buy a car. Some people are there to find out the value of their car for all kinds of reasons. We had somebody come in a couple weeks ago that needed, they were going through a bankruptcy, so they needed an appraisal for the bankruptcy. We had somebody else going through a divorce. They came in and got an appraisal for a divorce. We do it all the time where people have a car that's being on the edge of being totaled, so they want to know what is the diminished value. And Ron, you went through this the other day where you actually got called to like a summons because you told a customer that their car was worth a little less if it got smashed up. And how did that go?
Well, it's called diminished value, and basically what it is, if this particular gentleman had a Highline Lexus car, and he was just driving along one day, and somebody took off the front end of his car. Well,
wow.
So the next thing is he got it repaired, but after he thought about it, he says, you know, with the Carfax, with car history reports, it's not going to be worth the same. Well, I wrote a letter for diminished value, and diminished value is that you have lost the value of your car or some of its value. Now, not all cars, 99% of all cars have diminished value. I'm talking about, they even asked me this in court, do all cars have diminished value? Well, if you got a 1982 Ford Taurus and this same thing happens, it really isn't going to affect it. But if you're driving around in a nice Lexus, you're driving around a nice car, diminished value can take the value of your vehicle down, number one, when you sell it. You can drive it forever, but if you sell it or have to trade it, the first thing we'll do is we'll get the nicest car, and we'll pull a car history report, and it'll say accident. We go, oh, man. So what does that do? That thinks up here that the value of the vehicle's down. The same thing with you do, folks. You get on your Google, and you get on there, and you're looking for 3 different cars, and one in Fort Walton, and one in Mobile, and one in Pensacola. All of a sudden, you click on that one in Pensacola, and it's got a car history report of an accident. Well, you eliminate that, and you go in here, and now that diminished the value of that car again. So there are diminished values out there. We can help you with those. We don't say, I'd say that we are experts in this area of values. So if you need something like that in writing, you're more than welcome to stop by Frontier Motors. Bring the ID number with you, bring the car with you, and also bring a copy of the report with you where the accident, the amount of value that it took to put the car back together, and we can give you a diminished value letter. Make it nice and easy. And that is absolutely free.
The number one selling color in the world is white.
White. Oh, it used to be silver, I thought.
Used to be, but it just says here, silver falls from the top spot.
Oh, man, I hate to hear that.
PPG Industries, a manufacturer of transportation coatings, reported that white topped all colors and the most popular color for vehicles globally. Number 2 was silver, and right behind that was black. And the reason I'm even saying that is people don't worry about resale value when they buy a brand new car. And when you go to a new car lot and you see them all lined up, there you got a black one, a silver one, a purple one, whatever, and you look at, wow, I like that one, and it's lime green.
No, wait a minute. I drove a lime green car once. Go ahead.
I personally like lime green. But most of my customers don't.
We suspect it.
Oh, yeah. This was I want to say what it was. It was a Ford EXP. I don't know if anybody remembers those. They were one of Ford's biggest mistakes. They're on like one of the Ford's biggest mistakes. A lot of them. Yeah, and I drove this lime green Ford EXP. I have no idea why I drove it, but it was really kind of ugly. But it was kind of cute. It's one of those. It's like an ugly, cute dog.
I bought a Hyundai Accent the other day, Ron, and I bought it, because it was a little two-door hatchback jobby. It was a lime green.
Yeah.
It had the fancy wheels on it. And it just jumped out at me.
Yeah.
And you know what? We've got a silver one, we got a white one, we got a black one. Guess what sold first?
Lime green.
That lime green one.
That's cool.
So, but what I'm getting at, folks, is that the color has a lot to do with it, because white is a good color to buy used or new for resale purposes, because nobody really hates white. A lot of people say, I'd rather have a color, I'd rather have silver, whatever. But you can normally talk somebody into buying white because it's a neutral color. Neutral colors sell better than weird colors. Even black is not that good of a color, even though it says it was number 3 in the world.
Wow.
It's not that popular here down south in Florida because people have this thing in the back of their mind that a black car is quite a bit hotter. Not to mention that every little dust speck shows up. If you wash it today, you're going to wash it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the next day. If you got somebody who washes your own car for you, you don't have the problem if you got kids or whatever. Of course, most people these days, the kids won't do nothing.
Yeah, right.
You talked about that before we got here. Ron's trying to get his kids to cut the lawn, and he'll pay them for them.
We were watching a lawn guy come down the street. I said, my kids could do it. No, they wouldn't do that.
So if you don't have anybody wash your car, don't buy a black car. But anyways, I'm getting off track, but we're talking about his advice. So if you need advice, Frontier Motors is the place to go. And we were talking about before about the reputation of the car business. And one of the things that you're going to find when you come to Frontier Motors is that you can actually go there without buying a car, without us making you feel like you've got to buy a car today. And of course, we want you to buy a car, but doesn't necessarily have to be today. And what that does, it takes the pressure off that you can actually look around at your leisure. We unlock our cars every morning. All 330 cars are unlocked every morning. And so you can sit in them. You can play with don't steal nothing off them, but you can play with the steering wheel controls and all that stuff. The salesman will get you the keys if you want to test drive them. And we've got a window sticker on the car because some of them have these digital odometers, so you don't know how many miles on it. So we can give you a price list that has the miles, and every one of our cars actually has a supplemental window sticker on that lists the equipment of the car, the engine size, and some of the equipment you can't see, like if it's got Bluetooth, the miles on the car, horsepower rating, gas mileage ratings, that's all in the window sticker. So we make it really easy for you to come on the lot and really shop at your leisure. And of course, the next step would be if you want to take a test drive, and then if you want to get a bottom line price, which we do, a no hassle gimmick type situation.
And I think I'm going to upset a lot of ad agencies out there right now, but you know what? There is no such thing as really a sale. I was listening to a radio on the way in, and they said that all the Christmas sale items were out already early this year. How can there be a sale? The Christmas ain't even here. Well, in the car business, there's really not a sale.
There are sales at the mall. There's a sale.
There's a sale.
I went to that shoe place, and when that sale was over, they wouldn't give me the price of those shoes because I was a day late. But in the car business,
business, there's no such thing as a sale. Now, here's a really good example. If we were going to run a sale today, we have a Cadillac SRX, and we don't say this very often, but we're asking $26,900. We have it advertised for $24,900. The amount of money I have invested in this car is $24,698. Now, let's just say that we invited a credit union in. Or let's say we invited that fancy schmancy guy named Slasher in. And we had this big, huge 4-day sale. Nothing would change on this. Nothing would change on the price. I still got the still 24,600. I still have that. Now, everybody makes it feel like there's a sale. And it comes back to that same story about the older gentleman that had that car that got excited, bought it, and didn't even know he had a sunroof till 45,000 miles later that it opened. Sometimes you can get into these sales and wish you didn't. And we had a gentleman there yesterday. He bought one of these new Suzuki, what's that Suzuki pickup truck?
Ecuador.
Ecuador.
Ecuador or Equator? I think it's Ecuador.
Depends what,
it could be an equator.
Depends what side of Mississippi you're from, I guess.
It's spelled equator. I'm going to have to Google it.
Okay.
I'm going to Google it.
Now you got me confused, but let's just go with Ecuador. It's probably an equator. But anyways, that gentleman bought this truck, got excited, loved this truck. Guess what? His lifestyle has changed. Now he can't use the truck, and he wants to trade out. The difference between what he bought, what he owed, and what the credit union did, he owes $5,600 more than the vehicle's worth at this point. Almost impossible to trade. So you have to be cautious when you buy a car, because if something happens down the road a year or 6 months or 2 years, and you don't have the equity position to get out of it, you're really, it can scare you. There's a family that came in the other day. They had a little small Jeep Cherokee, and they're having their fourth child. I don't know how all that happens. But then now they don't have. But all of a sudden, I mean, they used to see all these kids in there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk.
They're like jammed in this thing. Now they need out. Guess what? Same thing happens. They got 100% financing. They went through one of these big sales. They got one, and guess what? They can't trade out of it either. So now they got to pack everybody in there, and they got to be, unless they come up with tons of money. And a family of four coming up with $4,000 or $5,000 to dig yourself out of this is almost impossible, but not impossible. You can do that. So you got to be a little cautious.
He had no equity in his Ecuador.
It's not an. Is it an Ecuador?
It is. Equator. Equator.
Equator.
Equator. No.
What's an equator? I don't know. Hey, I got two guys that just barely graduated high school, and we're trying to tell the public on the. Well, we're really making a fool out of ourselves today.
I had a 3.3 grade average.
You did not. Now you're lying to the public.
Well, we are car dealers.
When you were a freshman, the first test.
The number one selling car last year. Actually, this year so far, Ron. Number one selling vehicle.
Number one selling car this year.
Vehicle.
That's got to be Ford F-150.
You know it. 416,000 of them sold. Don, what's number two? You should know this by now. We've been doing this for 15 years. It's always number two.
Yeah, he knew the first one. That's why he got over there by the mic.
What's number two?
Yeah. Just want to go back to make sure you said vehicle the first time out. Now, what are you saying for the second?
Vehicle. No, I'm saying for everything. This is all pickup.
After Ford would be
right. After Ford, Chevrolet.
Yes, sir. 296,000 Chevy.
Ooh, they're way behind though.
What's number three? And I'll give you a hint. It's a car.
It's
Camry.
A Toyota.
Toyota Camry, 229,000 Camrys sold. After that is the Nissan Altima with 200,000 Altima sold. Then Honda Accord, 195,000. The Ford Fusion, Ford's making a comeback. Excellent reputation on Ford Fusion, 188,000 Fusion sold, almost as many Honda Accords. The Ford Escape, this is interesting. We don't sell that many of them. I did sell one the other day. 187,000 Ford Escapes have been sold year to date, which is really interesting because I don't really see that. And the Chevy Cruze is like, that is so excellent that this car being, I think, the second year out, 187,000 Chevy Cruzes have been sold. We have not sold a Chevy Cruze.
We haven't even seen a Chevy Cruze.
Actually, I've seen them at the auction. But right now, when I buy them, they have to be a good deal, Ron.
I mean, I have seen one, but I haven't seen one at the lot.
You've seen Cruze one buy? You haven't seen one Cruze buy?
Yeah. But it's like a Ford.
Because I haven't bought one.
Like those Ford Escape things. They escape.
I haven't bought one, Ron, because they're not a bargain yet. Unlike the Ford Focus.
Gotcha.
2012 Ford Focus, we have two of them. We've sold one already. I've got one left. We've got another one coming. And the Ford Focus has enough of a gap on a 2012 that I can save you between $2,000 and $3,000, which is a minimal that I think that you should save if you're buying a used car. We have one on the lot right now with 3,000 miles on it that will save you about $2,000 in money, and you're getting $1,700 in extra premium equipment, such things as Bluetooth or the sync system is what they call it, which is not standard on that particular car. But it's very interesting, and the reason that I get scared a little bit around it because that Chevy Cruze and the Ford Focus, they're a pretty expensive car. Yeah. I get on the websites, and you put any equipment on, like power windows and some of the stuff, and the Bluetooth, it's $24,000, $24,000. You can buy a new Camry for less than that. So I wonder how, it must be for the gas mileage or something like that. Maybe they get 35 instead of course, the Camry gets 34 now.
I'm not real sure, but we could call the Toyota marketing people and find that out.
I think we'll just stay on the radio and TV and just make it up. Why call anybody? The number one loser in the nation for the first 9 months is the smart car. Unfortunately, the smart car has taken a big dive, 21% decrease in
sales. It's like from the outhouse to the penthouse, from smart to dumb.
I was down at Jocko's yesterday. I come out and my wife was walking with me. We're going over to have dinner, and there's a little smart car there, and she says, if we bought that smart car, we got a 2-car garage. lengthwise, she wants a little golf cart
Right.
so we can tow around downtown.
Right.
And she says, if I bought that smart car, I could fit the golf cart and the smart car in the garage.
There you go.
She says, I bet that thing is very unsafe. I said, it's really actually very safe. I think that thing's got like 12 to 20 airbags. I mean, it's like a cocoon. If you get smashed up in that, unless you get squished by a semi-truck, you'll walk away because it's a complete cocoon in that
Of
smart
course,
car.
that totals the car value-wise because it costs you another $3,000 to replace all the airbags.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's just a throwaway car. I mean, that's
It's a throwaway car.
Just put it in the dump and just get another one.
We're talking downtown travel here. We're gonna get in the big
I'm
Hummer.
like a man who owns a car lot.
Yeah,
I
right.
just throw it away, get another.
My golf cart could probably total that smart car if I had a golf cart.
Yeah.
A song like that.
Yeah. Anyways, back to what we're supposed to be doing.
The other loser, this is very interesting. The other loser, you'll never believe this, Lexus is down 17% for the year.
Wow.
It's the second largest decline. I don't know why it is because our used Lexus business is awesome. But I think they've priced themselves a little out of the market. Ron, I spec'd out an RX 350 the other day with navigation. It came to close with everything on it, claimed to $55,000.
Ouch.
You know, and they used to be 42 to 43 brand new.
Yeah.
Now they're in the 55 range. You put the backup camera and the Bluetooth and everything. And you know, that is getting into a whole different level. Even though 42 is expensive, 55 is even more. So you get what I think is called sticker shock when you walk into a Lexus showroom. And I think it's starting to show in their sales because they have the best product in the world. And this morning I was watching TV3. And they had Good Morning America on. They talked about the ratings for the cars. The number one Consumer Report just came out with the rankings for the first 9 months. Lexus was number one for reliability out of every car. Last year was Scion. Scion was number one. Well, this year, Lexus was even better than Scion per 100 vehicles sold as far as how many problems they had. And there were a couple of losers in there, too, but we're not going to mention the losers because at Frontier Motors, we sell them all. We
might have a loser
cars.
there. Yeah.
We have, well, you know, there's cars on there, and I'm going to use the Grand Cherokee as an example. The Grand Cherokee has not been recommended by Consumer Reports for years and years. One of our best-selling used cars. So if you read Consumer Reports, you wouldn't buy it, but I've got hundreds of satisfied Grand Cherokee customers that would say that's a bunch of crock. You know, I've got a Grand Cherokee. I've never had an issue with it. So it just really depends, I guess, on who you listen to.
One of the things that you can visit Frontier Motors is by our website, frontiermotorsinc.com. Talked a little earlier about it. Frontier Motors. You can Google Frontier Motors if you're in our area. It comes right up. You'll find ways to put your car on consignment, sell your car. It gives on there on the tabs on the side, tells you what to bring if you want to do some of that. Also, if you go into the inventory, it has 20 good pictures of every car, and then a way to contact us. If you'd rather contact us with your pajamas, as Mr. Sansing would say, in your pajamas, you can contact that, and Bruce Hilt will get back to you, and one of the salesmen will get back to you as soon as possible. I think the best way still to search a car out on the internet is to search the car out, but get somebody on the phone. I really, really believe that. I'm not telling you that so I can have your telephone number. You don't have to give me your telephone number when you call. I don't need that to call you back. I just want to give you the right information. And you can get on these internets, and you can go to the dealership, and the first thing they say, well, it's not this dealership, it's at another dealership because we own 7 of them. And the other thing is that you can get on the website, and you really, really like it, and you pile all your kids in the car, and you get there, and it's not there. You also can find out it doesn't have the right equipment. You might find out it doesn't have the third seat once you get there. But just get somebody that's on the phone with you, somebody that you can trust, somebody that you know. So when you get there, and like this ad Ivan wrote about where people are deceiving people, if somebody's deceived you, then get the general manager out there and yell at them and say, look, you know, this ain't right. I came here because this car was this, and the salesman told me that. Not just the pictures, because sometimes they can't screw it up on the internet. Mm-hmm. Because we have a company that does it. They do a great job. They're 99.9% sure of everything on it. Every once in a while, something could come on there. We've had cars where we've had $20,000 cars that showed up there at $4,500. Once in a while, they made a mistake. And of course, we have a little disclosure on the bottom to help us out with that, but it doesn't happen that often, once a year. But some car lots actually do it as a bait and switch type thing because they can leave them on there. We actually had a service call us up and they keep bothering us about once every 6 months, and they want to sell us, take all of our cars and put it on the internet. And we said, well, how do you take them every day and take them off every day, the ones we sold, and put on the... Oh, we don't do that. We leave them on there.
We leave them on.
Yeah, so they said,
it makes it seem like you have more inventory than you really have.
They said, well, you want phone calls, don't you? I said, no, we don't want bad phone calls. We don't want cars that we don't have. He said, oh, no, most dealerships, we keep them on there for 30 days after you sell them. Really?
A lot of dealerships do that because it makes your call. No, that one's sold, but I got this one. It's like a bait and switch thing. At Frontier Motors, you're not going to find that. And, of course, we do sell cars on a regular basis. We sell about between 150 and 200 cars a month, which means that we're rotating 50 cars every month. So if you pop in at Frontier Motors 1 week, the next week we'll have 50 new cars. Our dealership phone number is 436-8080. We're only open until 6 o'clock at night. After that, you can leave a message. If you need a value on your car, go on the website. We'll get back to you as soon as, again, Bruce Hilt, one of our internet specialists, manager, will get back to you with a price within a matter of probably half an hour.
Remember, 850-436-8080. And remember that everybody drives a used car, so give us a call if you need some help and if you need some work on maybe a little bit of value.
Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. Have a great day. Auf Wiedersehen.
Business the old-fashioned way, Frontier. We got the right price, Frontier. We'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.